Hello, fifth graders, and thank you for joining us here at BCPS-TV, however you are joining us, whether it's on your television or on YouTube. My name is Mr. Tang, and we have special guest today, Miss Machi, also on to help us with our lesson of the week. We're taking a look at Week 7, Lesson 1. So today we will be using visual models to divide fractions by fractions in order to find quotients. Some visual models we will be using are number lines and area models. Let's take a look at two different visual models. I want you to think about what is the same and what is different about these visual models. So on the left, we have some fraction strips, and on the right, we have a number line. What are some things that you notice that are the same? What are different? So we both have the equation here, 3/4 divided by 1/8, 3/4 divided by 1/8. We have 3/4 represented at the top here. We have 3/4 represented on a number line as well. And then we have split up into eighths. Both representations have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we will look at using a number line. How can we use a number line to divide fractions? Let's look at how we can use our online digital math tools to help us solve the problem 1/2 divided by 1/6. First, I'm going to select number line. And then I'm going to click on numbers. We need to change the intervals on a number line so that we can represent our dividend. So I'm going to click on this icon, and I will change the type to fractions, and then I will change the options. Now we can set the dividend to 1/2. Next, I need to partition the number line again to show the divisor. Since the divisor is 1/6, I will change the interval to 1/6. Now I can determine how many 1/6 are in 1/2 by making jumps of 1/6. There are 3 1/6 and 1/2.
How can you model dividing a fraction by a fraction? Think about this question during the lesson. Simon buys 1/2 yard of material. He uses 1/6 yard of the material to make a foot bag. How many foot bags can Simon make? Find 1/2 divided by 1/6. How is the expression 1/2 divided by 1/6 related to this problem? Simon is dividing 1/2 yard of material into 1/6 yard pieces, so you use division to solve the problem. Step 1. Draw an area model to show the dividend, 1/2.
You can use an area model to show division.
What does the entire rectangle represent? Why is 1/2 yard shaded in the area model? The entire rectangle represents 1 whole yard of material. 1/2 yard is shaded in the area model to represent the 1/2 yard of material Simon buys. You will be dividing 1/2 by 1/6, so you start with a model that shows 1/2. Think, how many 1/6 are in 1/2? Step 2. Divide the same area model into 1/6 to show the divisor. Why is the entire area model divided into 1/6? You need to know how many 1/6 are in the whole and then find how many 1/6 are in 1/2 of the whole. How many 1/6 are in 1/2?
Select your answer.
There are 3 1/6 in 1/2, so 1/2 divided by 1/6 equals 3. Simon can make 3 foot bags. Now you know how you can model dividing a fraction by a fraction.
Thank you, Pearson. And now let's go to Ms. Machi for a little bit more on this.
How can we use common denominators to divide fractions? To solve the problem 1/2 divided by 1/6, first we need to find a common denominator. Our denominators are 2 and 6. First, find the multiples of 2. Then, find the multiples of 6. We can see that 6 and 12 are common multiples of 2 and 6. Next, we need to write equivalent fractions with the common denominator. I can rename 1/2 to 6 by multiplying by 3/3. 1/2 is equivalent to 3/6. Now that I know that 1/2 is equivalent to 3/6, instead of thinking about my division problem as 1/2 divided by 1/6, I can think of it as the equivalent problem 3/6 divided by 1/6. Notice that the denominators are the same. I can divide across the numerators. 3 divided by 1 is 3. We know that any number divided by itself is 1. Since these problems are equivalent, I know that 1/2 divided by 1/6 is equal to 3.
Well, that was splendid, Mrs. Machi. Thank you so much. Well, now, boys and girls, it's your turn to try it. You can practice strategies you have learned for dividing fractions with models using Reteach 12.3. You can also practice using the guided practice problems on Practice 12.3. Once you feel confident, complete the independent practice on Practice 12.3 as an assessment of your learning. Remember to keep track of your work in a safe place so you can share it with your teacher. Great job today. You can watch this video as many times as you'd like to help you continue learning these strategies for dividing fractions. Have a great day, and as always, stay safe, wash those hands, and do the math.